In my previous videos, I talked about how I was a former cheat backer. Okay. That was kind of my healing journey. Once my marriage was being blown up and I was finding out all this man's secrets, double, triple, and quadruple lives that he was living. For me at that time, cheating back was the only option. That was the only option on the table. I did not want to play big. I didn't want to be the bigger person. I didn't want to just walk away and leave. It was, oh, okay, I'm going to get you back. I'm going to hurt you. So yes, I did cheat back, right? And what cheating back taught me about that man, which I'm so glad I did it, is that he wanted to be the only villain in the story. As long as he was the only villain in the story, he was like, he was cool. He was content. He really thought, not only did he think, but he wanted me to be a damsel in distress. He thought he married a damsel in distress. And I can see why he would think that. He probably thought that because he got away with so much for so long. He was able to manipulate and lie and have all these secrets for so long. And he felt like, oh, I got this in the bag. You know what I mean? She's a goofy. I could play her. And I was a goofy for a very long time. He's right. And so I think once everything started to blow up and I was finding out all of these things about this man, he thought I was going to like sit in a corner and cry and not eat and wither away. He really thought I was going to be a damsel in distress, right? And so unfortunately for him, that's not at all who I was. I was very.
I think a lot of times in a situation like this, like first and foremost, she admitted like the better thing for me to do, the more mature thing for me to do was just to move on and not cheat back. So she acknowledged that because honestly, it's like why put yourself in that predicament? And I know like as you mature, you make mistakes in life and you learn from those mistakes. So I'm not dinging her for that. You know, people make mistakes, but like ultimately in a marriage, when you make that commitment to be with one person, it should only be that. Unless y'all have some type of agreement or arrangement outside of that, then you make that commitment, it should only be that one person. Well, what I'm not going to do is let her sit here and make up this entire theory of how this man wanted to be the only villain or villainize her. Like it's not that complex, sweetheart. I'm gonna tell you that now. You probably had to go through that, like the healing process to kind of get to that conclusion, but I'm gonna break it down for you very simple as a man. Men want their cake and eat it too. Women want their cake and eat it too. It doesn't regardless. I mean, it doesn't matter regardless male or female. There's a lot of times, like I said, it doesn't make it acceptable. Sometimes it's not even that malicious like you're thinking. It's just like the thirst or desire for somebody else. So it's like it's not this complex, devious plan to destroy her. I think he was just being selfish. A lot of people do that. It's just selfish, you know. And some would say it's human nature. You know, we're not supposed to be monogamous creatures. A lot of people believe that. You look at the animal kingdom, most animals aren't monogamous. You know, so it's like they have multiple partners. I think we're different because we have emotions. We have a certain level of intelligence that I think like it should be communicated. Whatever your expectations are out of a relationship or a marriage, but women, please listen. A lot of times it's not that complicated. He's just stupid. He wanted to get some ass. I guess it's like it really is not that complex. It's not like this drawn out elaborate plan to to manipulate you. Like he's just being stupid and selfish. And that's why I say women, you know, a lot of people would think that if you look at it in comparison, women cheat more than men. The thing is, a lot of times they're just better at concealing it and hiding it. So I think there is some truth to that. They're more meticulous and strategic about stepping out, you know, and not switching things up. Men get reckless. They get careless a lot of times. And she's right. She probably because he was getting away with it, he took advantage of it and he continued to do that. But no, I just want to say it's like it's not always that malicious. Sometimes it just he was stupid and he was being selfish instead of thinking about, you know, who he should have been thinking about, and that's his wife.
Oh, okay, bet. Now I'm going to be the supervillain in this story. Now, mind you, this man had been cheating our entire marriage, okay? This man had been cheating the entire time we had been together, okay? Serial cheater is really an understatement for what he was, okay? And the moment he found out that one man touched me, I'll never forget, he was crying, like bawling real tears bent over, knees up, talking about, please don't ever hurt me like this again, baby. Please don't ever hurt me like this. Hurts so bad.
You know what? I could see that happening because realistically, I think like for example, one of the perfect examples is like you see a lot of times you see memes about how if a woman gets sick versus a man gets sick, how he acts like a baby. Like male ego is very fragile. Like for him, like obviously he doesn't mind inflicting it, but for him, just like I guess the visualization of somebody dominating his woman was too much for him to bear, and I don't know, it's just funny the thought of him like not. So, yeah, he deserved what he got, but just the thought of him crawling up in the ball, saying all that is hilarious, and I could definitely see it happening, knowing how fragile the male ego can be. So
This hurts so bad. Please promise me you'll never do me like this ever again. Please. This is coming from a man who's been cheating his entire marriage. And his tactic was to try to manipulate and control the situation by bringing God into it. This man told me that God showed him a vision of our lives and how happy we were going to be and that we were going to be stronger than ever. And he said, I just need you to trust me. I need you to trust me. And I need you to change your number. And I need you to never talk.
see, look, okay, I think it sounds like there was some manipulation involved, but automatically just like dispelling God, like that didn't have any impact. Sometimes when people go through something like some of the worst situations in their life, they turn to God. And that could have been that, you know, it likely could have been that he was in a situation where he said, you know what, he realized the pain. Because again, like I said, he was stupid. He just went out there and was just filling his flesh desires and not thinking about the impact it would have on you or the marriage. But then when he actually was able to feel that pain, then maybe he did have like a moment, come to Jesus moment. So I don't know. I wouldn't always ignore that it could have been some validity to it, but definitely you got to be careful because like he could like be in a situation where he's not really repenting for his sins and trying to move forward and improve, and he could just actually be trying to manipulate her. So you have to be careful. But I also think like if you commit to a marriage just for sickness or health, better or for worse, I don't think infidelity should be an exception. But a lot of times people work through that and they end up having a successful marriage. And I think in this time we're too, I guess, tuned into instant gratification. We have the illusion of optionality. You think everybody out there, you know, they show you perception of what can be better, this and that. And I think it's really coming down to like focusing on where you water your own grass because it ain't that many options out there. It might be fun for a while, but then, you know, when you get used and abused and you realize a lot of people aren't looking out for your best interest, sometimes it's like, all right, maybe my situation could have been resolved. So I don't know if that's her case, but I'm saying a lot of times, you know, instead of you jumping the gun, you know, figure out if this is something that you really want and that y'all could work towards. But, you know, I don't know what y'all think. Is it cheating a deal breaker for you? Let's see how the rest of this goes.
Talk to anybody ever again. God told me to leave your ass. Matter of fact, God told me that I wasn't even supposed to marry you. So what are you talking about? Mind you, all of it was manipulation and just him trying to gaslight me to control the situation. And I said no, I'm gonna keep popping my coochie. I am. I'm gonna keep popping it on that man, and that's what I did. And when I tell you the level of anger and rage that came out of this man, I had never seen in all the years I had been with him. That's one thing he had never displayed. I had never seen anger or aggression come from him until this moment. And I said, oh, this is interesting because it was okay when you were cheating the entire marriage. You cheated the entire marriage. And now you're punching holes in the wall. You're going crazy and you're losing your mind. And what I realized at that moment was that, oh, you were fine with our life being the way it was as long as you were the only villain in the story. As long as you were villainizing me, you were good. But the moment you met the supervillain, oh, You weren't ready. You weren't ready. That man wanted to villainize me, and he expected me to sit around and be a damsel in distress. And this is why I personally do not believe in taking a serial cheater back. I don't do it because they are always content. All you're doing is showing them that they can continue to play with you, and they're not going to stop. They're just going to get better at cheating. But that man was comfortable being a villain in my life. The moment I became a supervillain in his, he was losing his shit.
Yeah, it does sound like there was a lot of manipulation involved in that relationship. And I think she found her villain arc for sure. Shorty lost it on him. But I mean, do you think that's acceptable? Did she take the right route by cheating back and making him feel the pain that she inflicted on him? Or you think, like she said in the beginning of the video, would have been better for her to just take the high road and just move on from that situation? I don't know. Like, who knows, like from what she's saying is like if you do that, then you're just as bad as the other person. But it seems like she's, from what she's saying, I don't know how long the marriage or relationship was, but it seems like she's matured and beyond that, and hopefully on to bigger and better things. But shout out to her, and hopefully dudes not crying in the ball no more. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'll catch y'all later. Peace.